Well, here we are back in the studio serving you what we promised. It's all about the CPP and what is happening within that party. Joining us, General Secretary Nana Ya Jantwa. She joins us live in the studio. And I see you with, a pile-up of documents that you're about to. But let me say a very good morning to you.
Good morning, my dear. How
Thank
are
you.
It's been a while.
It has.
How have you been doing?
We're doing well. God is gracious.
Yes, we thank God. And you're looking good.
Thank
I
you.
like your frames. That shit to me.
It's good to see you after so long. Last time we had an interaction, we were looking at the CPP's constitution, and today we're here sitting talking about the same party you're trying to build.
Yeah.
But there are problems in there.
Yes.
So let's start with
political party.
Like any political party, but they have come to the fore in recent times. Quite a number of
everybody
them.
comes.
Suspicions of embezzlement, interdictions. Oh, you are not the chairperson. Oh, I am the chairperson, and all of that.
That's a constitutional matter.
But let's start with you. You together with Onzi Nkrumah and others.
And Osei Kofi
Akwa,
youth organizer.
Got interdicted recently. Tell us why.
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to your viewers and good morning to my CPP comrades. And good morning to you all in the studio. My dear, I really didn't know why. The reason that was given was a bit untenable to all three of us. Because this issue of the Nana Frimpong Nkrumah within...
That is the chairperson.
We can't say that because they contested within the chairmanship class and none of them got the 50% mark, but we'll come to that.
Right.
There was somebody took it to court and there was some settlement which culminated into a consent judgment. And when you look at the document, we were not involved because it is a party. And once a settlement has to be done on behalf of the party, all the structures of the party should be involved, even to the point of NEC, because once it is done, it is binding on the party. From Central Committee, leadership, Central Committee, NEC, we should all know what that settlement is. But we didn't know about it. So we had calls from the grassroots. You know, we represent the party, we represent the grassroots. That's when they saw the document floating on our platforms, they were not very happy with the content. So they said that as leaders of the party, we should go to court and do an overturn of the consent judgment. A little bit history about this whole thing. When the whole thing started and they brought the settlement documents, Nana Frimpong Nkrumah herself said she thought it wasn't good enough for us. So we should all come together and reject it. But she went around to sign it. That is another matter. Now let's concentrate on the interdiction. So 8 of us of leadership said that this thing has to be overturned. Because
8 of you?
8.
Who are the ones you speak of?
Onzi Nkrumah. These are the 8 executive members, the 8 leadership who have been voted to run the party on behalf of...
So you're taking out the likes of Frimpong?
Yeah, because she didn't get 50+1.
But that is contested.
We will come to
we'll get to that
yes,
point.
We'll get to that. Let's do the introduction. So 8 of us, even if we include her, she was on her own. She left us. Because she signed this and we said that we are not in agreement. Besides, you told us we should not from the beginning. So 8 of us said that this one, we should not have it because the grassroots were saying that the regional chairman, everybody who saw it, even those who hadn't heard about it at our last CC, when we read it out, some of them were even very angry. So myself, Onzi, let me start in the terms of hierarchy. Onzi Nathan Nkrumah is the first vice. The second vice is Nene Obojo, Emmanuel Nene Obojo. Then the third vice is JB Daniels. After that is me, the general secretary. After that is the national organizer. After that is the treasurer. After that is the women's organizer and the youth organizer. 8 of us.
Right.
Together. I, as a general...
So all of you had one mind?
We had one mind.
You were at Edem on this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So I, as being the General Secretary, would certainly sign whichever document which states that we are doing this on behalf of all 8 of us. So I just signed the document as General Secretary. There is something called democratic centralism. When all of you agree to do something and you are in it, you can, as part of comradeship, you cannot say that you will not be part, especially when I am central. Because the General Secretary is the center around which everything in the party evolves. So I append my signature on behalf of 8. It is indicated in the document that went to court that this person is doing this on behalf of 8 of us. How come only 3 were taken out and interdicted?
And that was the question I was about to follow through with you on. That you've mentioned 8 of you as executives, but it appears only you, together with Onzi Nkrumah and Mr. Akwa, have been singled out. The question is why? Do you know?
I can't tell. Besides, I told you earlier, if you say you are interdicting somebody, you interdict somebody who is on salary. I am not on salary. The
party doesn't pay you?
No, I do my own work to get money to look after myself. Everybody do their own little thing, even though party...
But the party doesn't pay any of you, right?
No, nobody.
Right.
And me being the General Secretary, I'm sitting there 24/7, supposed to be there 24/7, running the administration of the party and everything. I'm not paid. So if you want to you talk about interdiction, then it's about somebody who is paid. And if the person is paid, you give the person half salary when they are interdicted. There are different levels of officers in our party. We have members, we have national officers, we have people who work for us. In that case, the interdiction will go for the people who work for us because they are on salary.
Okay.
Because if you're on salary...
That is administrative staff.
Administrative staff. If you're on salary, you are interdicted. I know the meaning of... I've been a public servant for 2. I've been in, administration, government, everything. And I know what interdiction is. When you are interdicted, you are given a half salary. Number 2, before you even take anybody further for anything, they said I did a few things. I don't know the few things I did that merited what happened.
So they say that the 3 of you, through your actions and inactions, put the party in a bad light, that you contravened the party's constitution. And if I may quote here, the chairperson, and pardon my saying that, I know you don't want me to, but she says certain persons in the CPP have vowed to keep the party comatose and have devised unethical and inferior tactics to discredit the political gains of the glorious CPP, obviously aimed at you.
So what you can't just say I've adopted inferior tactics. That is a very broad thing. Specifically, what did I do?
Unethical.
Like what? Do you get me? I mean, you should be able to tell me that this thing that you did was unethical. We are in a democratic dispensation in this nation, and the issue of democratic dispensation runs across every facet of the lives of people in this nation, and especially in a political party where we are hoping to come to power. So, if anything has happened and we say that this one, we want to go to court to overturn it, have we done anything wrong? Is it wrong for us to use the court system to do this? Fine. There are also systems. You see, we work with the Constitution and we work with laws. Even God, when the Israelites were in the wilderness, he saw chaos and he told Moses, come up here and let me give you statutes and laws to govern the lives of these people. In every establishment, there are rules of engagement. Even in the forest, you cannot enter the pride of a lion if you don't belong to that pride. That is the rules of engagement. The rules of engagement for the CPP and for any political party is the Constitution. Within this Constitution, it tells you how you will do away with a national officer.
And those processes are not being followed?
No, I was just...
How do you respond when the National Communications Director says that you have consciously and consistently thwarted all efforts by the Central Committee to carry out its mandated duties? What are some of the things you've been doing that maybe have...
I haven't even heard this one.
Stoked the ire of the CC.
CC, The person who has stoked the eye of the CC is Nana Frimpong Saponguma.
How?
I didn't want to go there.
How?
You see, anytime you have to do a program, right, in the CPP, you need to seek permission from the CC. Ever since she came, nothing she has done has she sought permission from the CPP, from the CC. Let me tell you something. She has a program on Metro TV called Time with CPP. So categorical, so emphatic, with CPP's name there. Ask whether she even got content from the Central Committee. Because that program is supposed to be for the CPP. Number 2, on 6 March 2021, 5th March 2021, we had a meeting and she wanted to do a program about some business, 1 million, something about work for the youth. My 1-2K. And the CC told her categorically that wait, this program, we need to get better particulars. We need to put stuff together and we do it as a party. So don't talk about it, don't launch. On the 6th of March 2021, she launched that program with a press.
So are you suggesting that...
but we didn't say anything because...
Nana Frimpong herself has been contravening what the party stands for?
I am because we thought that we should be inside, whatever it is, we should be there. And we are all women, and sometimes maybe because she hasn't been there before and knew some of the things, we just let it go. But for her to see that say that I'm thwarting the work of CC, I mean, it's a complete lie. What would I do? My dear.
Let's talk about Nana Frimpong's chairmanship or otherwise of the party. She was here yesterday.
I wanted to conclude on this one.
Okay, you go ahead. Because all that you're saying brings into contention that very bit.
We'll deal with it, but let me quickly do the processes for you to take the
So do wrap on that.
So the point is that you need to go to a process. You have to give the person 1 month notice of what they have done. In the case of a national officer, 2/3 of CC should call the national officer to stand in front of CC. Then it goes to NEC.
How many members are in the CC? When
We
you
have
speak of
52.
52?
Yes. Do you get me? So you have to stand in front of the CC, then go to NEC. The NEC, 2 members in NEC. Even the CC should write to you that this is what you have done. And one member will write, another one will endorse. That is the constitution. Then we go to NEC. NEC is a bigger body, about 210 people. And that is where you can talk about anything concerning the general secretary and the chairman. Even with the chairman, the Congress should ratify it. So, I mean, all these things they are talking about, anyway, let it be. It has been overturned. So let's continue and so that we don't go into it. Constitutionally, it was wrong. Because
it was wrong. What exactly was wrong?
Like the interdiction.
Interdiction
was wrong. And all these things are very warped and put together accusations, which doesn't even make sense to me. I never did anything against CC. They should come and tell me exactly what.
Do you feel there are certain individuals who are behind this, who are maybe fostering the interdiction that you suffered?
I cannot tell. The only thing I know is that Nana Frimpong has variously made attempts to get me out of the party. And variously she has been told that to get the General Secretary out of the party, it is not an easy process. It is not an easy process. But I do not think, I'm not going to accuse anybody behind anything. We are in a party, we are building the party, we need to go to power. And that is for me the most important thing. The only reason why I am here is to use whatever expertise that I have, because I know the foundation of the Convention People's Party is good, and a little bit of work will find us in the Jubilee.
Okay, we have a few minutes more for this, but with all that has happened, do you feel hard done by the party?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Not at all.
So you're going to soldier on with the CPP?
Yes, that is why I'm here.
Okay. It has come into, the bone of contention has to do with the chairmanship and how she got, I think she got, was it 43 or 48? 43%.
Yeah.
But she also spells out the fact that for the first time you were looking at all 16 regions. I recall what she said here yesterday, all 16 regions, that the dynamics had changed and that leadership of the party agreed that you didn't necessarily need someone getting 50% and over. And it was on the basis of that, especially as she had won 10 out of the 16 regions, that she became chairperson for the CPP. Is that correct?
You see, Politics in Ghana.
No, is it correct? Is it correct that was the agreement, tacit agreement at the time?
I'm saying that wasn't a tacit. I've heard it so many times, and I have found out so many times. And I found out from the chairman of the IOC, the chairman of the Congress Committee, what happened was that we did a decentralized Congress. And in our constitution, the flag bearership position and the national position should be done at different times. But this time, because of COVID, we're going to do it at the same time. So we had to go for, I heard the EC said that they would not go through the elections if you don't deal with that clause, that we have to do it separately. So we went for a referendum and voted that, do you want us to do the election of flag bearer and national positions together? That is all. It was even a confirmation of our constitution. It didn't touch numbers. It didn't touch what I got or what will be the requisite for somebody to be a chairman, a flag. The flag bearer too has to get 50 or more % of the valid vote cast.
Right.
And we went according to that. The flag bearer got about 68%. So there was nowhere that I do recall. Or we also look for the documents covering it. Because I have asked and I have found that even the chairman of the IOC that conducted the elections came out and has written without no doubt that that election, the referendum was about the election between putting the two together at the same time. So
if the election was flawed, you gave the information to the Electoral Commission and they conducted this election based on your own constitution and all of that. If it was flawed, it's been 2 years.
It's only 2 years.
Why? It's been just about 2 years.
1 year.
Why have you not worked on the situation? You've waited till now with the internal party wranglings. I mean, what are you doing to the CPP, the party you claim to love? You claim that someone was illegally elected, but you've allowed the person to serve. And now all this has come up. 2 years to another election.
My dear, you see, it is good you're asking why we are here today, because it didn't start today. There has been petitions upon petitions. There have been court cases upon court cases. The fundamentals of whatever we are going through is the fact that this constitution, which says in Article 93E that if the chairman does not get 50% or more of the valid vote cast at a Congress, then it means it shall be deemed as if that person has not been voted for. It goes on to say in 93(2) that there will be a re-election between the first person and the second person. We have a second contender, and that is in the person of Hajia Hamdatu Ibrahim, the former chairman, acting chairman. If she wants us to go for a rerun, if she accepts that there should be a rerun, it will be very much unfair that we don't do that. Also, we have been bedeviled with court cases. You can't even work. Everyday petitions. When the settlements came in, then petitions started coming that you cannot settle a constitutional matter.
Right.
And sweetheart, the point is that it has happened before. In 1999, Professor Dele and Dr. Abubakar Al-Hassan and Mausi Dake, and Mausi Dake and Ebotewia, they went for the chairmanship. None of them, 4 of them, just like this, 4 of them, none of them got the 50% or more mark. There was a vote, a re-election between Professor Dele and Dr. Abubakar Al-Hassan. At that time, the first vice chairman was our current Council of State chairman, senior comrade Felix Amwa, and he acted as the chairman till an election was done after 1 year, because the CPP was in court at the time trying to get back the name.
So it is clear that there are precedents that we can follow when it comes to what you say. But now that you find yourselves where you do, and to wrap the conversation, you find yourselves where you do. You're calling for unity in the party. She is calling for unity. You are calling for unity. How are you going to execute that mandate? You're executives of the party. You are on one side together with your others, 8 of you.
Yes.
And there's the chairperson.
Yes. And we all believe.
How are you going to find middle ground ahead of election 2024?
We are going to do a rerun. The CC has said there should be a rerun. A Congress committee has been put in place. There will always be the CPP should be the first. Because when we had that meeting, the words they used was to uphold the constitution of the Conventions People's Party. And this constitution says, without any doubt, that for you to sit on that seat, to be the chairman and leader of that party, of this great party, then you should have 50% or more of the valid vote cast. I do not think it is for any reason why they did that. You need to be able to be popular to command the troops. Because in politics, it's commanding the troops.
Is the Nafin Poma popular?
I don't know. I can't tell.
So the Congress will tell?
Yeah, the Congress will tell. And I do not think why we are going through this. If there's going to be a rerun, she has only 7% to make up. Hajia Hamdatu has about 11% to make up. 7%, you have your 43% standing. You just work for 7%.
Okay, my very final bit to you. Yeah. In the last election, the CPP performed abysmally.
Yeah.
Can you win election 2024?
We can.
You can?
Yes, we can, because the people of Ghana are tired of the duopoly. And wherever you go, people are saying CP. Even today, as I sat here, I met a man who asked who I am, and I said, oh, I am this, that. He said, oh, everywhere you go, from Kantamanto to Kejetia to Makola, everywhere you mention CPP, they all say Monyiremu. So now the word is Monyiremu. But my dear, if we are going to take power and we cannot enforce our own constitution, how can we enforce the constitution?
Point made. Nanaya, we'll have to draw the curtains here. Do stay with us, but thank you so much for joining the conversation. Nanaya Jantua, General Secretary of the party. It's good to see you again. And she joined us with the latest